can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
This is Snowman in the Morning, and it begins now.
I ask myself, is it worth it? I answer myself, yes, it is worth it.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Hello, baby.
Did you not get... Are you kidding me?
Two outs, ninth inning. Halladay 1 out away from a no-hitter. Brandon Phillips, the batter, he takes a fastball for a strike over the outside corner. Worth shallow in right. Victorino also shallow in center and shaded to right center field. Valdez a few steps closer to the line against Brandon Phillips. 0-1 the count. Halladay quickly back into the set position with a glove in front of his chest. Waiting on the sign from Ruiz. Here's the windup in the 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2. He is a strike away. Just about 7:45, October the 6th, 2010, the first postseason game for Roy Halladay. He winds the 0-2. Swing and a dribbler out in front of the plate. Ruiz out to get it. The throw from his knees. It's in time, and it's a no-hitter. Unbelievable. Ruiz and Halladay embrace, and the Phillies again celebrate around Roy Halladay. 4-0. It's the second no-hitter in Major League postseason history.
That was called by Scott Fransky on October 6, 2010. Scott Fransky, the voice of the Philadelphia Phillies, and that is in honor of one Roy Doc Halladay, only the second pitcher in Major League Baseball history to toss a no-hitter in the postseason. Good morning, everybody. Snowman in the Morning is back on this wild, wacky Wednesday. My little one has a late start, so if we're hustling out of here, you understand why. Because I was given a direct order by my better half. She said, look, you got to be finished by 5 minutes to the hour. Why? Because we got to get out of here and take little one to school. Okay. Now, with all that being said, welcome to the show. On this Wednesday, we are presented by Full Armor Worldwide and also presented by Cleaver Supplements, pure supplements for when genetics are just not enough. On the show, you'll hear a tribute, and the story of Doc Halladay. I'll also have a tribute to my favorite play-by-play announcer of all time, the late, great Jim Durham, who died this month in 2012, and it still hits me to this day. We'll have our question of the day, college football chat with Chris Dietz of the Fifth Down podcast. You can hear us live on 3andoutradio.com as well as Arena Sportsnet, and you can hear the replay on Radio AFS, which is where Chris comes from. And this Fifth Down podcast is live tonight, and we want y'all to tune in. Thanks to the affiliates that are picking up are simulcasting this show. We got some basketball coming for you Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from Dayton, Ohio. Give you all the details on that. And we got more basketball coming for you across the country that we're going to syndicate and that we're going to air. Want y'all to support us. If you like the show, hit that subscribe button. Thank you, dear. Only $5 a month will help us continue to do what we do. Now, let me get to my opening statement, and it goes a little something like this. Someone mentioned to me that I have hatred, mind you, for Lonzo Ball. I don't. My problem with Lonzo and LeVar and the rest of that damn family is the fact that they keep doing stupid things. Case in point. It has been brought to my attention that one LiAngelo Ball has been arrested. Why, you ask? For putting his hands on something that wasn't his. And, oh, by the way, in China. What? I will say it again. and I will continue to say it, I have no hatred, none whatsoever, for LeVar Ball and his family. What I do have hatred for is his father's mouth and his antics. LeVar Ball came out of the box since his son started getting national attention for the numbers they were putting up, which is why all three of them are going to get crucified when they get to the NBA. They're going to get crucified on the floor because they are much better, bigger, and faster players than them. When his father, LeVar, started opening his mouth and putting down current and former players, oh, I don't know, like Kobe Bryant, oh, I don't know, like Stephen Curry. When you put down players like that saying your sons are going to be better, and then he let this slide out of his mouth, that Lonzo Ball was going to be the greatest Laker ever. What? Someone brought that to me, and they said, Snowman, you got to go in. LeVar, I understand. But believe me, I'm a parent. I am a parent. I would want my... I wish she was here. I miss you, Donna, baby. I would want the best for my children. I would want my children to be the best in whatever they're doing. Believe me. I'm not going to go around bragging about it until they do something. That's what I have trouble with. That's what I've always had trouble with. To compare and even put your son, who hasn't proven anything yet, above the likes of a two-time MVP and a two-time champion? Idiot. Absolute bleeping idiot. And now, his middle son, LiAngelo, the biggest of the three, apparently has been arrested in China for thievery, for stealing. You fool, in the immortal words of one Gilbert Gottfried. You fool. Let me read to you a piece of this article from USA Today, which says, and I quote, there it is, 3 basketball players have been arrested in China. A person familiar with the incident told USA Today Sports. I'm reading this from usatoday.com. It came out yesterday. The person spoke on the condition of anonymity because the details had not been made public. ESPN reported that one of the players is LiAngelo Ball, brother of Los Angeles Lakers rookie Lonzo Ball and son of LeVar Ball, and that the arrest was for shoplifting. Cody Riley and Jalen Hall were the other two. Now, I've listened to a lot of commentary in the past 12 hours. I've listened to a lot of commentary in the past 24 hours, the past 12 hours about this incident, and more details keep coming out. I'll make a full, unadulterated assessment off the air. UCLA Athletics said to USA Today Sports in a statement, this university is cooperating fully with the local authorities on this matter, and we have no further comment at this time. They also said we are, quote, we are aware of the situation involving UCLA student athletes in Hangzhou, China, close quote. What the hell is wrong with you? You get a scholarship to play basketball and to make your own name separate of your father's. And you do this? I hope that scholarship that LiAngelo Ball has to UCLA says adios. You've got no business acting out of pocket, given the fact that your brother's in the NBA, given the fact that your father has been opening his mouth trying to prop you and your brothers up against current NBA players or current college players. And like I said yesterday on the show, Lonzo Ball is going to get torched every single night. If he gets torched against De'Aaron Fox in the Sweet 16, and he gets lit up for 39 points, and I already explained on the court why Lonzo Ball is a bust, then what do you think they're going to do to him? And the Lakers play tonight. The Lakers play tonight. And you're going to do this to bring more soil upon your family's name? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, LiAngelo Ball? I'll have a lot more to say about this. I have to go to a break. I got started late and I apologize, but I'll have a lot more to say about this tomorrow. In fact, this will open the show. When we come back from a break, Mike Green will join me to talk some hockey. The Hawks are off to a bad start. That's the bad news. The good news is it's early in the season. A lot for the Hawks to figure it out. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Snowman in the morning, back in a flash.
Bob Ross Fiat is proud to also offer a selection of quality used vehicles on our lot. Our inventory of these pre-owned vehicles is constantly refreshed, and our knowledgeable staff is here to help you find a vehicle that will exceed your expectations. Our technicians carry out a thorough multi-point inspection on every pre-owned vehicle we offer, and all of these great cars come with a complimentary Carfax report. Visit us at 91 Loop Road in Centerville, or call us at 888-854-5078. You can also visit us online at FiatUSAofCenterville.com.
Programming on Arena Sportsnet is fueled by Cleaver Supplements. Hey folks, time to get your body kick-started. With that in mind, reach for the supplements that will do just that. Cleaver Supplements. They provide natural supplements to help you lose weight, get stronger, and have greater workouts, all to propel you towards your summer body and mind goals. Visit cleaversupplements.com today and get on the best track to a healthier you. Cleaver Supplements. Pure supplements for when genetics are just not enough.
Coming soon, the new wave of hydration and energy drink HIQ. This new product is all natural with no caffeine and gives you a major boost of hydration and energy. No twitching effect or crashing like the old energy drinks. You can visit our website at www.liquidhiq.com or Twitter at HiQ2015 to learn more about this amazing energy drink. What is your level?
Live your life and just let go. If you try, then you will know.
Has your fantasy season ever come to a complete halt due to your top picks going down? Now there is a solution for that. RotoSurance is your go-to fantasy sports insurance provider. Get 100% of your money back if your top players go down. Head over to www.rotosurance.com and use the promo code 3andOutRadio to get 20% off your plan today. Again, www.rotosurance.com. Promo code 3andOutRadio.
This is Snowman in the Morning, where true sports talk lives.
Hello, baby.
Oh boy, off to a flying start. This is indeed going to be an express edition. I got some father stuff to do here. Snowman in the Morning brought to you in part by Cleaver Supplements, pure supplements for when genetics is just not enough. Mike Green is on the way to the hotline. Later on, Chris Dietz of the Fifth Down Football Podcast will join me to talk some college football. We'll break down 10 games. And I still have a tribute to Doc Halladay and Jim Durham to do here on the show. I want to thank you all for tuning in. We are also now on iHeartRadio. And I'm getting a message here. Hang tight, folks. Mike's should be ringing in a couple seconds. We're going to make sure we get him. We're going to make sure that we get him on to talk some hockey. It's been a while since he's been on, but as I said before I went to break, tomorrow I'll have more details on the LiAngelo Ball situation. And believe me, it's developed into a situation. It's developed into a horrible situation. And I think I think Mike is here, and I'm trying to make sure I get everything. Yep, he's here. And I think we can talk some hockey. Been a while. Mike Green, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Everything's great. The sun is shining. Notre Dame is going to win the national championship. You just got to get the Blackhawks going.
Well, it's early. It's early in the season.
It's early.
It's early because we've seen them trail like this before during one of their Cup years. I want to say it was 2010. We've seen them trail like this early before.
Yeah, 2015 they got out to a bit of a slow start.
Right.
So.
Right. So they can bounce back.
There's some issues with this team, but they're fixable.
Well, what have you seen so far? What have you seen so far with the Blackhawks?
Well, other than opening night with us thrashing the Penguins, the power play is dreadful.
Yeah.
That is really hurting them. It's near the bottom of the league, and with the talent that we have, it's amazing. But the power play is terrible. They're taking way too many penalties.
Right.
Puck possession is an issue, and at times in our own zone, we're running a Chinese fire drill, and that's a problem. And if it wasn't for Corey Crawford, this team would be under 500. You can make a case right now that Corey Crawford is the league MVP the first 2 months of the season.
I'll make that case. I'll definitely make that case because Crawford's been playing. He's back to his old self. He's back to his Stanley Cup self, playing lights out and saving the Blackhawks in a couple of games. They're down. At last check, they're down 7 points in the division. That's totally. They can overcome that, and they overcome that before. Like you said, in 2015, they got off to a slow start, and they wound up winning the Stanley Cup.
Right. St. Louis is on fire. I watched them last night beat New Jersey, so St. Louis is on fire, but St. Louis does this every year.
Right.
It's apparent to me that they really miss Nicholas Jarmelson on defense.
Yeah.
And make no mistake, they miss Marian Hossa.
Mm-hmm.
They miss his ability to back check, to score, his leadership. But this team is still very talented. You got to remember, we're breaking a lot of new young players, guys like Ruda and Forsling and Hayden, guys like that. It's just going to take some time to gel, but they got to get the power play going, and they got to clean up some defensive issues.
You know what? This is more of a second half power play team, and we've seen that the last couple of years that they get off to horrible starts on the power play, especially getting some power play goals. But this is more of a second half power play team.
Well, it better be because right now it's really hurting them. I mean, the game against Montreal, they had, 5-6 power plays, and they went 0 for 6.
And they went 0 for 6.
Your power play has to come through at least, if you're going to get 4, 5, 6 power plays, you got to get at least 1 or 2 power play goals.
You have to.
Right now, all the pressure's on Corey Crawford is keeping their heads above water right now.
Yeah, he sure is. What about the start of the Vegas Golden Knights?
They're a playoff contender. Well, they had advantages that other expansion teams in the past didn't have. They had better access to better players because, teams had to leave, 2-3 players unprotected.
Yeah.
And they accumulated about 100 draft picks at the draft in Chicago last year.
Did.
So
they sure did.
Right now, if the season ended, they're in the playoffs. I mean, now whether they can keep up this kind of pace, we'll see. But they're a definite playoff contender, the way it looks to me.
Who else do you see in the West that's a playoff contender right now? Because the Hawks are sitting, I think, 7th or 8th in the conference right now.
That's correct. And St. Louis is off to a strong start. Dallas is starting to pick it up. Anaheim has just been riddled with injuries. San Jose will be there. The biggest disappointment, Edmonton's been a big disappointment to start the year. They're near the bottom of the league. I'm surprised by that. Colorado's improved. But right now, the West, in the way it looks to me, is St. Louis. Chicago will be there.
Yeah.
But right now, St. Louis is on fire right now.
Yeah, and like you said, St. Louis always gets off to this kind of start. But I want to say this feels kind of different, but it's St. Louis. We've seen them fizzle out before, but they're starting off strong. That's a look at the West. How about the East? Who do you see? Who's out to a hot start in the East so far?
Well, Pittsburgh's off to a good start. Washington's off to a good start. New Jersey's been the biggest surprise in the league.
Yeah.
They are near the top of the standings in the East. The New Jersey Devils are. And then, Pittsburgh will be there at the end. You know that. So the Rangers are off to a terrible start, which makes me very happy. But right now, the New Jersey Devils are playing the best in the Eastern Conference, and that's a surprise. But they upgraded their offense, and they've got a lot of youth.
And they've been there before.
That pace. Well, New Jersey's been down for a few years. This is the best they've been in a few years. But they've accumulated some good young talent, and you're seeing it pay off.
You really are seeing it pay off. That's our look inside the NHL, inside the green room with Mike Green. He'll appear every Wednesday to talk some hockey with the Snowman. Thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate it.
Oh, okay. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Let's pause for a break. When we come back, we got some more for you. Snowman in the morning, back in a flash.
Welcome to the Butcher Box. Our beef is exactly the way that nature intended. 100% grass-fed and grass-finished, antibiotic and hormone-free, and never taken from feedlots. Just 100% healthy meat. We offer 2 to 5 day delivery to the contiguous 48 states. The meat is flash frozen at the peak of freshness, packed with dry ice, and shipped directly to your door. The beef is sourced from a collection of small grass-fed farms. It is of the utmost quality and tastes incredible. Our steak won a blind taste test cook-off with the Today Show in 2015. So for 100% grass-fed and grass-finished beef, organic chicken, and heritage-bred pork delivered for free on your schedule for less than $6 per meal, visit arenasportsnet.com and click on the Butcher Box logo, and if you do so, you will receive 10% off your first order. Or give Butcher Box a call at 855-981-8568.
Bob Ross Fiat is proud to also offer a selection of quality used vehicles on our lot. Our inventory of these pre-owned vehicles is constantly refreshed. and our knowledgeable staff is here to help you find a vehicle that will exceed your expectations. Our technicians carry out a thorough multi-point inspection on every pre-owned vehicle we offer, and all of these great cars come with a complimentary Carfax report. Visit us at 91 Loop Road in Centerville, or call us at 888-854-5078. You can also visit us online at fiatusaofcenterville.com.
This is Snowman in the Morning, where true sports talk lives.
Hadouken! That's a spicy meatball!
Oh, brother. It has been a wild morning. I'm sorry I'm late in coming back from the break. I had to take care of a mess, but it got taken care of. And now to the story I've been regretting to do, don't want to do. But one of my favorite pitchers of all time, Roy Halladay, has died after his plane crashed Tuesday afternoon into the Gulf of Mexico, and he was only 40. Man, he was one of my favorite pitchers of all time. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office, as I'm reading this from Yahoo Sports, Pasco County Sheriff's Office in Florida confirmed during a news conference on Tuesday that Halladay died in the crash, which happened around noon Eastern Time near Bend Pilot Point, which is north of Clearwater. Initial reports said that one person died in the crash, but the victim wasn't identified until the Sheriff's Office confirmed Tuesday afternoon. Pasco County Sheriff Chris Noco didn't immediately know what led to the accident. There was a no mayday call, Noco said. He said Halladay's body was found near the plane. A full investigation will follow. We will definitely keep up with this. And as I'm looking on to other things right now in following this story, his wife Brandy, his sons Braden and Ryan, this is how they remember him: a hero, a father, and a dad. For the light and the darkness ahead of them, for the days that he would have told them again he loved them, he was proud of them, and always will be. The fact that he could pitch his ass off is just something else. The fact that he could throw what he could throw and do it on the stage that he continually did it is unbelievable. Way, way too young. Absolutely way too young. The game then did not stoop to mourn one of the generation's finest pitchers. It rose to honor the teammate, the friend, the husband, the father, the son, the man that it knew to be more than a collection of innings of what came of them. And I absolutely adored this. He left the game for a life of raising his boys every day, because he could have thrown until he was 50. But family came first for Doc Halladay. As mentioned, and I'm reading again from Yahoo Sports, he left the game for raising his boys every day. Every single day he left, maybe a little sooner than he had to, with an ailing back that maybe could have been fixed, with a farewell to the notion that a life without the game could be put off, that a life would always be around tomorrow, that he'd get to it when he got to it. He said, that day I had to stop my wife from cracking the champagne this morning. An old man in the game, and I'm reading this story again from Yahoo Sports, is still offering a new husband, a young father, freed from the unrelenting schedule of those years, would finance the rest of their lives, but only when they got to them. And so, soon enough, Roy Halladay coached his sons, he tended to his wife, and she to him. He flew. He went after all the new todays that seemed clear. However they came, sunny or cloudy, still or windblown. He left the game to tend to his family. That says more to me than anything else. Because, anyone who's followed Roy Halladay during his career knew he had back issues. He always had a lot of back issues, and he kept trying to come back from them. But he just couldn't. And when he couldn't pitch up to his standards, he said bye-bye. He walked away from the game and went to his family. Yeah, I sound a little somber because I'd always loved watching Roy Halladay pitch. He was one of those pitchers, even if it was against your team, that you stopped and looked. You stopped and watched. And you wanted to be there. You absolutely wanted to watch him do what he does. And so did his family. So to Brandy, Braden, and Ryan, we here at Snowman in the Morning express our deepest condolences. I know there's a full investigation underway, and I'm sorry I can't talk much because I hate stories like this, but I actually love them because of why he walked away. Wanted to be around his kids. And when he couldn't get back into playing shape, he walked away. Now I'm reading another story that goes like this. This is how much of an impact Roy Halladay had. He was born in Colorado, lived in Florida, and arguably reached the apex of his career in Pennsylvania. But when news of his death broke on Tuesday afternoon, hearts sank across Canada because he started his career with the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, I know I had planned a tribute to my favorite announcer and Jim Durham. We're going to do that, but we're probably going to move that toward the end of the show, and if I don't get to it today, then I will get to it tomorrow. In fact, if I don't get to it today, I'll lead off with it tomorrow. Now let's let's do what we came here to do, and let's pick up some spirits, shall we? Y'all remember that theme, don't ya? Huh? Chris Dietz is on the Cleaver Supplements hotline to talk some college football. We got some picks for you, and I am proud to welcome this man. The Fifth Down College Football Podcast with Chris Dietz is on every Wednesday night, which is tonight. Go check it out on Radio AFS. But he's here with the Snowman now to talk some college football. Let's pick up some spirits around here. Good morning, Chris.
Hey, how you doing, Snowman?
I'm doing well, my friend. All right, let's do this. Let's talk some college football. You ready?
Ready to go.
I told you I had an old school theme in my mind for you. All right, man. Georgia at the top of the rankings and not Alabama? Is Georgia that good? I think they are.
I think you're splitting hairs when you're going with these two teams. So and it's going to play itself out. So I don't really get into that who's better right now, because I personally have Alabama, but I could make the argument for Georgia because I see what the committee did.
Right.
The committee just said, well, Georgia's got to win over Notre Dame, so we're going to put them there because Notre Dame's the third team. So they're rewarding the big win, and that's basically how you break down Georgia and Alabama right now. But otherwise, Alabama's the better team on the field.
Right.
And they're the better, and they're the more storied program. They're the one we know, as opposed to Georgia, who's
you're not even gonna give me the You're not even gonna give me the hobnail boot? Come on, man.
But in reality, those two teams are going to play each other, so
right.
it's not worth the debate, you know.
It is. They're going to settle it in Atlanta on December 2nd at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Should all hold the way that it's holding. What about the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame?
Notre Dame is an interesting tale. And, again, I mentioned they lost to Georgia.
Right.
They got the 1-point loss to Georgia. But they also have been dominating teams. They're not just winning games, they're dominating.
Absolutely.
And that's important. That's important at this stage of the game because the committee's looking at teams that they're not looking at teams that squeak by. They want to see teams that are going to shine and teams that are playing well. And if you look at the top four, that's what you see out of them. You see the four most complete teams are the top four. You can look at the argument. You can look at Oklahoma. Well, what's their big deficiency? They don't play defense.
Exactly.
You can look at all the other teams. Clemson, what's their deficiency? They don't really have one. They're the most complete one-loss team.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame has Wimbush. The question about them is, can Wimbush win a game where Josh Adams isn't running all over everybody?
Right.
And that's going to be the test for Miami. Can they stop the running game and make Wimbush beat them with their arm?
That's one of the games we'll pick.
What we're looking at Notre Dame.
That's one of the games we'll pick here in a couple of moments. How bad was the loss for Ohio State last weekend?
Ohio State ran into the buzzsaw that is Iowa. And for those of you out there that have not listened to my show, I have to say we are me and my co-host. He's called the Walrus, so that's who I'm talking about when I mention him. The Walrus on our very first show, we did predictions of the season.
Really?
And my co-host picked Iowa to win their division in the Big Ten.
Oh wow!
And we got a caller that called up and was absolutely furious that he picked Iowa. Furious that he picked Iowa. So the running theme of our show for the rest of the season has been, don't mess with Iowa. And we pick Iowa every week, and we talk Iowa every week, and they just happen to come up. And I got to say this because I just looked it up and I just wrote it down. What happened to Ohio State is the best cornerback in all of college football showed up and made plays. And that's Josh Jackson. Josh Jackson is hands down best defensive back in college football right now.
In the country.
And he's a guy if you I know a lot of people are college football fans, but they're more NFL oriented. That's a kid that's going. That's a kid that's going to be a top 10 pick in the NFL.
Indeed.
So I just wanted to get him out there because he had 3 picks, including a Odell Beckham one-handed nuts of an interception.
I saw that. That was an incredible pick. Speaking of picks. Speaking of picks.
Let's do it.
Let's get to them. We'll start at the top of the pile on the farm called Stanford Stadium, the Washington Huskies, and the Stanford Cardinal. Chris, you first.
I'm going to take this game comes down to whether Bryce Love plays or not and how well Bryce Love plays. I don't think he's still right. I think he's still got the ankle injury, so I'm going to go with Washington.
I will follow suit and pick the Washington Huskies. Let's stay in the Pac-10. I'm sorry, I can't say Pac-12. It's Pac-10 to me. I'm old. I can't help it. Washington State.
I do that.
Somebody that understands. I love it. the Washington State Cougars and the Utah Utes. And this is in Salt Lake City. I smell trap game here. Chris?
It's in Utah, and Washington State has been on the road twice.
Uh-huh.
They've gotten destroyed both times they've gone on the road. I think I'm gonna stick with my guns. I picked Washington State at the beginning of the year. I'm gonna say they right the ship, and Washington State is able to pull out a squeaker in Utah.
I have a feeling this is going to be one of those shootouts you usually see in the Big 12, but it involves Washington State. I smell trap game right here, but I'm going to follow along and take the Washington State Cougars. It's going to be a fun game. Speaking of trap games, here's a trap game for you. Mason Rudolph and Oklahoma State travel to Jack Trice Stadium and the Iowa State Cyclones. Your thoughts, Chris?
I think Iowa State, great story. I don't think they have the firepower to keep up with Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma State's able to get them, and that offense. I'll take that offense, and I will always take the coach with the mullet.
He's been doing it a long time. Let's go to the ACC. Florida State at Clemson. I'll take this one first. Florida State, you're about to get a foot put in your ass. I'm sorry. You're going to face an angry Clemson club trying to hold on to their spot in the college football playoff, and Florida State has just fallen through the floor. I'm taking Clemson. What do you think, Chris?
I think this is the last time we talk about Florida State for the rest of the season. They're fighting for a bowl bid. The only reason this game is important is that Clemson is in it.
Right.
And if Clemson was not in the top four, this game wouldn't even matter.
This is true. This is true. This is absolutely true. It wouldn't matter if Clemson wasn't in the top four. Let's go to the Big Ten. Two of the originals in the Big Ten, Michigan State and Ohio State. How pissed off is Ohio State going to be this week at the Horseshoe?
They're going to be pissed off, but that doesn't make a difference if J.T. Barrett can't throw the ball to his own team.
This is true. An opening pick six at Iowa.
I think they're the more talented team, and I think Ohio State knows what's on the line, and they know the Big Ten championship's on the line. I think Ohio State's going to get that game.
I'm going to say go Buckeyes myself. Here's an interesting one. Let's go to the SEC. Alabama and Mississippi State. Uh-oh.
The only interesting part of this game is that Alabama's beat up. Alabama's got a couple injuries at linebacker, and they're going against a decent quarterback and a decent offensive team. And obviously we know Dan Mullen can coach up a team.
You're right.
But I don't think Mississippi State has the homes to keep it up, and I think Bama's going to roll over them.
Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. I hate you, Nick Saban, but I'll go with the elephant. I'll ride with Bama. Let's go back to the Big Ten. Camp Randall Stadium sees the Iowa Hawkeyes fresh off the upset of Ohio State, taking on the Wisconsin Badgers. You first, Chris.
You know I stated my love for Iowa and my show's love for Iowa. I think this game is closer than people think. I'm gonna steal Lloyd Corso's. Closer than the experts think, but I think Wisconsin's able to take it.
Not so fast, my friend. Since we're stealing Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. I think adrenaline will ride them into Camp Randall and ride them out of Camp Randall. And yes, you can use this on your show, and I want you to. Old Snowman's taking the Hawkeyes in an upset.
Outstanding.
Now, what's going to be possibly the highest scoring game of the day? TCU goes to Norman to take on the Oklahoma Sooners and Baker Mayfield. You want this one first? You want to pick this one first?
I'll take this one first. I'll ride with Oklahoma. I think it's in. The problem is this game is in Norman.
Right.
And Baker Mayfield only loses games at home. He doesn't lose on the road.
Which frightens me.
Which is the opposite of which is the opposite of every other college football player. But I think right now Baker Mayfield is your leader in the Heisman.
Yep.
He's going to show it up. He's going to show it again against TCU, Oklahoma.
Yep, I'm going with Oklahoma. It's going to be another 60-point game for the Oklahoma Sooners. And if last week didn't teach y'all anything, you don't mess with Baker Mayfield, especially coming off of a win. Back to the SEC. And when I got this list, folks, he put them in the order of importance. This is an important one. Jordan-Hare Stadium, Georgia and Auburn. Do we get another miracle at Jordan-Hare like 2013?
I think Georgia's too good. I just think Georgia has too much speed on defense for Auburn to do anything. You look at what Auburn's done against speed defenses, and they've gotten absolutely crushed. So
yeah,
I think Georgia's three-headed monster at running back is going to be able to eat it up. Jake Fromm, again, if you've listened to my show, you know.
Yes.
Jake Fromm, best Twitter handle in the game, Jake Fromm State Farm. He's coming along, and I think they used last week to get him to throw the football around, so he can carry this team if he has to, but he doesn't have to because of the three-headed monster at running back, and that allows Georgia to squeak by. They're not going to blow out Auburn, but they're not going to be. But I don't see Georgia losing that game either.
I don't see Georgia losing at Auburn. There will be no miracles at Jordan-Hare this time. And the last one on the list, the one everybody's going to be watching, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at the Miami Hurricanes. I will pick this one first, and I will also do what you do on your show, and I'll give you a score. Notre Dame 48, Miami 37.
All right. This is an interesting one for my show for any of you out there that want to listen to a good football debate. Listen to my show tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern, 8:10 Eastern. My co-host is a diehard Miami fan. I qualify myself as a Notre Dame fan. I'm not a diehard. I don't live and die by them, but they are the team that I pay attention to.
I love it.
It's going to be interesting with the both of us going back and forth with each other.
Right.
But
oh boy.
I've gone back and forth. I think Miami is able to take away Josh Adams, and for some reason Miami's able to find ways to win close games. I think there's going to be a close game, and in the fourth quarter, Malik Rozier. There's no better quarterback than Malik Rozier in the fourth quarter. I think Miami pulls out a squeaker, and I say this on your show. I may change my pick on my show just to rile up my co-host and get him fired up. I may make that caveat when I'm sitting across from the Walrus.
Right.
But right now, as I sit, I think Miami's able to pull out a squeaker and throw the entire college football world into a frenzy.
I don't think so. Look, they're called the I'm going to invoke a little Keith Jackson here before we wrap this thing up. They're called the Fighting Irish, an unkind appellation given in irony, but has since become the heritage, the tradition that is Notre Dame. So written does it truly represent us that we are unwilling to part with it. And so we are the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame Gelat. Every time Keith Jackson narrates a Notre Dame game, they win. I imagine in my head him using this to open that game. I'm going with the Irish. And I got a bonus game. My friend Michael Hogue is a big-time Purdue fan. He seems to think that my Northwestern Wildcats will lose to them on Saturday. I'm saying this on air, and I will gladly admit when I'm wrong because I love having fun with this. Notre Dame's going to put a foot in their ass. It's going to be a purple avalanche at Ross-Ade Stadium.
Northwest of Purdue. I think you're absolutely right. I think, but you got to watch out for Purdue.
I know, but they ain't winning Saturday. They ain't winning Saturday night. Look, Purdue's an up and coming team. Purdue's an up-and-coming team, but so are my Cats. Northwestern's going to walk all over their asses.
Northwestern coming in at 25 on the poll.
Yeah.
Maybe they're riding, reading some of their press clippings. But I gotta say this. I gotta say this about Northwestern. Pat Fitzgerald is one of the best coaches in the Big Ten, and that says a lot with the coaches in the Big Ten because Pat Fitzgerald is a great coach, and he should be.
And Northwestern has won. And Northwestern has won 3 straight overtime games. Iowa, Michigan State, and Nebraska. They had no business coming back winning against Nebraska. And we got to get the heck up out of here. Chris Dietz, the Fifth Down College Football Podcast. Chris, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
All right, find our Facebook page. It's the Fifth Down College Football Show. And we got posts up there. We'll have our show posted. And I also have videos. I have the Josh Jackson interception. So if you guys want to see what we're talking about with the one-handed pick, go there. I got the videos. I got interviews. I got stories that will interest you in college football. Check us out tonight on AFS, on Radio AFS, 8 to 10 Eastern. And good talking to you, Snowman, and we'll do it again next week.
You better believe we will. You better believe. Oh, I was given a correction. It's at that Purdue Northwestern game's at Ryan Field. Hey, Mike, I hate to inform you this, but it's gonna get worse. Ha! I'm having fun with it. I'm absolutely having fun with it. I got a little boy to take to school. Chris, thank you so very much. I love you. I can't wait to have you on again.
Excellent. Can't wait to do it again.
Thank you very much, my friend.
All right.
Chris Dietz of the Fifth Down College Football Podcast joining us here this morning, and I got to get the heck up out of here. But before we go, as they always say on the Muppet Show, I planned a tribute to this man. Listen to this voice.
The inbounds pass comes into Jordan. Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! They win it! Set the Cleveland Cavaliers. Michael Jordan hits it at the foul line. 101-100.
And with that in mind, thank you, Jim Durham, for giving me my inspiration. Thank you, Jim Durham, for giving me my purpose. Thank you to my dad also for listening to a lot of Bulls games with me. Hey, quiet. I'm sorry. I forgot I didn't close that out. But we're going to close out here because I got to take my little boy to school. Thank you very much. Thank you to the folks at 3 and Out Radio, Radio AFS, Notoriety Sports Network, and to the good folks at my organization, Arena Sports Net. We're syndicated 4 times over. We're also on iHeartRadio. The way you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and iHeartRadio. Look for the ID SIT Morning. I got to get out of here. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. I love you. Snowman out!